Daisy Dresser's Miracle, a grown-up children's book and journal. It seems from all my readings of many books that happily ever afters begin with once upon a times, so that's where we will begin. Once upon a time, there was the most fabulous of furniture factories. Now, this furniture factory built one thing and only one thing: dressers. They came in many different designs, but they were all dressers nonetheless. There were other furniture factories that built every other type of furniture you could imagine, and they also built dressers. But this furniture factory was special. It built the best and most beautiful dressers anyone had ever seen. What made this builder of beauty supreme above all other builders? Every dresser it designed was distinct. This factory did not mass produce on an assembly line, but crafted each dresser to be one of a kind. There were blocky dressers, buffed dressers, bulky dressers, slender dressers, stout dressers, stocky dressers, squatty dressers, roundy dressers, rugged dressers, rustic dressers, any shape or form you could imagine. Though every design was unique, they all had the same basic components: 3 holders for holding, high, in between, low; 1 gazing glass for gazers who gaze; 4 wheeled legs for wheeling; 2 catchers for catching, right, left. The beauty builder was also the choicest chooser. He walked through his garden of trees to find the finest woods to craft his creations. He loved looking for the lovely grains of many colors his garden provided. There were black walnut, yellow pine, white oak, mahogany, redwood, rosewood, ash, cedar, maple, cherry, and teak trees, all offering themselves to the builder. These woods would not take on any stains from their crafter as he shaped and formed them into his dresser designs. He preferred what nature provided without alteration. There came a day, a month, and a year when the beauty builder put his finishing touches on his new design, Daisy Dresser. He had meticulously fashioned and fitted all the parts of this dainty dresser and handcrafted her pullers as daisies. Daisy's designer looked at his work, gently caressed every part, and felt his finishes with a gentle touch. He was well pleased. Daisy saw his gaze in her gazing glass and knew she was loved. So she felt within herself, "I am loved." With tender care, Daisy was wrapped and wheeled from the factory to a new home. A home with 4 walls, a closet, a window, and a door. The ground under Daisy's wheels was soft and plush. Not ideal for wheeling. She would now belong to someone new, or, to her surprise, to someone's. Her gazing glass caught gazes from more than one gazer. 1, 2, 3, and later there were more. 4, 5. Gazers 1 and 2 gazed the most, though. Sometimes Daisy's home was bright and light, but often it was shadowy and dark. It was the brightest when one of the gazers entered her home to be with her. But the gazers didn't gaze at her the way her designer gazed at her. They didn't admire her finishes with their looks or touches. She began to question within herself, "Am I loved?" When the gazers came, they often pulled her daisy pullers, opening her holders and catchers to store things inside of her. Her catchers caught bangles, beads, and baubles, all sorts, sizes, and sparkling colors. Her holders began to hold weighty things. High holder held calendars, checkbooks, checklists, report cards, scorecards, general ledgers, rule books, rulers, and tape measures. Low holder held all manner of memorabilia, photos, scrapbooks, injury x-rays, obituaries, tokens and trinkets, knacks and nicks, certificates of birth, marriage, death, and unmarriage, all things of loves that were loved. In between holder held sketchbooks, journals, travel brochures, a compass, crafts, and many unfinished works of creativity. Daisy's gazing glass grabbed glimpses of the gazers' gazes as they came and went and came. Gazes of joyful glee, sad gloom, excited giddiness, playful goofiness, indifferent glum, disheartened grief, disappointed growly grumpy, bland bored good, and simple glad. Every stuffed had a corresponding gaze, and Daisy was the keeper of it all. As Daisy received more and more, the weighty full made her feel as if she was loved, so she felt within herself, "I am loved." After many years of opening, closing, catching, and holding, Daisy was wheeled to someone new. The gazes of the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 gazers ceased. Now she only caught the gaze of a single gazer. New gazer desired to design her differently. Her style wasn't quite suitable. Her dainty daisy pullers were removed and replaced with hefty handles. Her daisy pullers were tossed in her low holder, so they weren't lost, but became memorabilia. She was stained with the stain, changing what nature had provided, as her crafter had preferred. Daisy's daisiness was missing. She didn't feel so much like Daisy anymore, and she began to question within herself, "Am I loved?" In a short time, New Gazer became fully dissatisfied with Daisy. Even the design changes didn't make her suitable. There was more stuff to stuff than was able to be stuffed in her, so she was set by the curb. And Daisy knew she was not loved, so she felt within herself, "I am not loved." I hope you've enjoyed this Gaze at Daisy as an introduction. For your copy of the entire story of her most miraculous miracle, with the in-depth prompted journal, visit www.thepresencecoach.com/my-miracle. You can also find this title on Amazon in paperback, hardcover, or ebook formats.